All right, I wanted to go ahead and start recording a little intro to Poke MMO 3D here. Um, you can have up to 3 characters on an account. I'm going to start a fresh account here just to kind of show some of the start. You do have this little flip through of advice that you can go through, as well as I think you can join the Discord through here, or I'll try and have the link as well. But when you log in, you're going to start off just right here in Pallet Town. You'll have your first building you can enter here. You get Professor Oak's office. You get the option between Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander. I would probably suggest Squirtle or Charmander if you had to. Just because Squirtle is the king of farming caves when he evolves to Blastoise. Charmander might be a little bit quicker for outside farming, but I'm just going to go ahead and take Squirtle here. You can send your Pokemon out by hitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. That's kind of the action. And then if you hit R, that should be your recall button to go ahead and bring it back. You can always take a look in your controls here. I am going to go ahead and do a little trick here. Sorry, search should typically be tab. But I know when I play, I end up changing everything to where I can just hit one button. So you have to do Shift 2 for the action buttons, and then you can just change it back to 2. And that way you could actually set everything so that it's the same. Here's where you can kind of set your moves and the order that they take priority. I will note this, if you do set everything to one button like that, you can only send out the first Pokemon in your party. It'll always default to the first action that it can take. So just as a heads up there, if you are going to do something like that, that's just how I'm used to playing, so I'm setting it that way. But when you send your Pokemon out, your trainer will kind of follow behind at a distance. The trainers are a little bit slow. So that's a... Oh, no, that's a wild Rattata there. Alright, cool. Just killed that. We'll come out and talk to this professor here. He'll give you quests. These quests will help you out with earning some money. If you want to view your missions and quests, you can go in the bottom left in the chat bar. The second one in is your missions. You'll see these. It'll give you some money. It'll give you XP and happiness for your team. I believe we should have... Oh, no, we didn't start out with Pokeballs either. Alright. I forget if they give you any in here. You can't enter back into the shop or the professor's office from that side, so it kind of sucks. Let me see if he... Oh, that's right. You gotta come over here and you can pick up 5 Pokeballs off of the thing there. You do have the Poke Terminal here. You'll have access to a broker, which is like an online market once you hit, I think, trainer level 10. And the way you increase your trainer level is by catching a whole bunch of Pokemon. So every new Pokemon you catch will give you more EXP, and then every time you evolve your Pokemon to a new one as well. So to catch, you want to press C, and then you get this little aiming reticle, and you actually have to target it and throw it at the Pokemon. If you end up missing, it doesn't actually use the ball, as well as if the Pokemon ends up breaking out of the ball, it won't actually use it either. So that is all very nice. So there we just caught our Pidgey. That gives us now a second Pokemon in our squad. Alright, We'll go ahead and catch a Rattata for some more XP. I think I actually dropped 2 right there. But I kind of want to get this video out there now because for the month of December, these servers are actually currently boosted up to the maximum. So XP multiplier is 10 right now. Mythical probability is at 200,000. Normally it's 1,000,000. Shiny probability is 1 out of 500. Typically it's 1 in 2,000 or something like that. EV gains are boosted by 10 times as well. Minimum IVs is you're guaranteed a minimum of 10. So that's very nice, as well as happiness. That's not boosted. It's useless stat. If you need happiness, go do quests. They by far give you the most, and I'll kind of show you some of that. Once you hit someone like the caves that are kind of a little bit later, they by far give you the most XP and are the most worthwhile. So we're going to come over to this little pond. We should have Krabby as well as Poliwag to catch here. You can also always catch the other starters that you did not pick. They are like, I think, a 1 in 1,000 spawn rate in a few of the maps. So you can't always get them later. That Poliwag should catch, hopefully. Yep. And there we go. So with EV multiplier being times 10, it gets us leveled up pretty quick, which is pretty nice. I will show you this button down here. You have commands down in the bottom right hand of your little text box here. You have TP Center. That'll take you... Oh, let me recall my Pokemon so I go back to my trainer. It'll take you to a Poke Center where you can heal up your Pokemon, talk to Nurse Joy, whatever. Exit back out. That's the professor's tower up there. That's where we were. It just takes you right to it. You can also TP to your shop if you need to buy more Pokeballs, things like that. So we'll go ahead and pick up. I'll go ahead and just do Great Balls. Oh, apparently it didn't like that. Whatever. I guess I'll just pick up Pokeballs then. Alright, so Pallet Town does have some decent size to it. Potentially grab a few more species, but I just want to get into the next zone here real quick, so... you can either find physical exits. I know there's one up there, but I'm just going to hit M, and this will show you the different places that you can travel. Route 1, it's going to have a lot of similar Pokemon. I think it's got some Caterpies and maybe Bellsprouts as well, but I'm going to go ahead and skip up to... Oh, Route 2 requires trainer level 4. I guess I won't skip up there quite yet. So I'm either going to have to evolve my Pokemon I have currently or catch some new ones to actually level my trainer farther. Up in the top right, you can see my current trainer level. I would suggest grinding those quests out a little bit more than what I did. The quests will eventually complete here as I go through them. So I'm at 4 out of 10 and 5 out of 10. So we should even be able to complete them in this zone potentially. If you want to pull up your team, I believe it's T to pull up your team. This is where you can kind of swap your positioning. If you did the dumb thing like me and bound everything to one key, you will have to manually swap it like that. But you'll see all these different moves kind of will give you different results out of what you get out of them. Oh, yeah, I let my Squirtle faint there. Ooh, and that Fearow broke out. It will... Okay, I might have to go back to Pallet Town, actually, if I'm leveling up some of these others. Go ahead and go to the center real quick, heal up. Alright. Let me see. If you're ever wondering what level your Pokemon evolves at, you can go into their pages here and kind of take a look at that. Krabby evolves kind of late. So Pidgey, that's 18. Squirtle's 18. We'll stick to our Squirtle real quick. You can also hit Q to sprint. You have your little sprint gauge at the side here. You saw that my Pokemon kind of was leaving a trail. You have to wait till it recharges up to at least 50 to be able to use it again. But once you do that, you're good to go. And there's that. So the reason I put tackle as the first slot, it does give a movement boost until you run through something. So you saw that 137 damage number pop up. That was actually tackle hitting when I ran through the Pidgey. So, and then water gun is a very strong move. Once you get Blastoise, it actually shoots out 2 water guns, one from each cannon on his shoulders. So that's kind of what makes him a strong Pokemon. And over there, we'll see. This is actually a shiny Pokemon. It's a shiny 5 variant, as you can see up there. So it's actually a special coloration. It's yellow instead of your typical Snorlax shiny. So that's a very neat thing about this game. They do have those special shiny variants, as well as you'll see down here. There's an event popped, which that's EV times 2 at Pallet Town. So that's actually where we are right now. So your Pokemon can actually gain EVs. You don't have to worry about messing up EVs in this game because you are able to level all your EVs to the max on each Pokemon. And that's actually something that you will want to do. So just by playing with using that Pokemon, you'll be able to train up your EVs. You can train up specific EVs in, they have what's called Training 1. It's got specific zones for training up different EVs. So that way you can kind of target if you need to level up one thing because you haven't encountered it much. Should probably try and go back out. I'd be gaining a little bit more EXP out here. And there we've got a Bellsprout, so that'll be another new one for us. But yeah, more Pokemon you catch, higher your trainer level will go. You need trainer level to be able to do some of the legendary raids, which I suggest you try and power through as fast as you can, because once you get those legendaries, they are some of the best Pokemon to kind of level up and grind. Oh, I don't need the Oddish. I do need the Spearow. And that Bellsprout broke back out, so gotta go kill him again real quick, and hopefully that Spearow will catch. That's why it's good if you can to get Ultra Balls, but starting out can be a little rough. You do see that the catch rate is only about 50% for me on these starter Pokemon. So we'll take what we can get for now. That Spearow broke back out. Oh no, it was the Bellsprout broke back out. Gotta run all the way back to him. Though actually our trainer level did hit 4. So we can actually head over to that Route 2 like I was wanting. Reason I wanted to head to Route 2 was just because some of the Pokemon you can catch here mainly being Weedle is the main Pokemon I'm looking for. Jigglypuff is another kind of entertaining one that you can catch out here. Oh my gosh. There we go. Some of these tiny Pokemon are hard to find, but you can kind of auto-target the nearest using, by default it's tab, but I bound my search into my regular key presses, so every time I use a move, it's just going to retarget to the closest thing. If you start trying to do like the bosses or the group fights like that, you will have to unbind your search and change it to something else, because otherwise you won't be able to target what you're trying to kill. So that's just kind of a quick tip there. All right, and we got the Weedle. Oh, also to evolve your Pokemon, they need to be out. So, since we have that, we can go ahead and take our Squirtle here and evolve. That's a very nice little thing that we can do. You see you get this cool animation. You're kind of locked out where you can't move. And there we go. We have a Wartortle now. It won't put your moves automatically into your bar for you either. So you will have to manually add those in as well. I kind of forgot about that part. Went ahead and just threw all my water moves in there for now. I can totally add some more, but for now. So we don't actually have a center here, so we'll go somewhere else where we can get a Pokemon Center. Right now, the holiday maps are actually enabled, and those maps do have some exclusive shinies as well as some exclusive Pokemon that you can catch. And where you get those is when you go to Viridian City here, right just in front of the Poke Center. You have Halloween Island, Birthday Island, and Christmas Island. Sometimes it can be a little hard to interact with these, so you might have to move around a little. As you can see there, trainer level required 20 for that map. Looks like Christmas Island does not have that requirement, so we can just head straight here. Here you'll see it's a lot more powerful Pokemon than we were facing. That's a level 40. Over here we've got a level 28 and a level 17 over there. So that's just kind of something to look out for. These maps are very nice, like I said. They do have some exclusive shinies on them. So a lot of people are playing them right now, but if you are able to take advantage of the EXP leveling right now, I would suggest doing that, because like I said, at the end of December, all these boosts will end. I imagine people will likely boost the shiny rate back up, or I think the event ends middle of January, like somewhere in like the 14th to 16th, I think. So, there will be a bit of time to try and hunt the shinies or exclusives from there. But for now, I'm going to come back to Route 2. I guess I should have grabbed my Weedle that I was wanting out as well. I will note this real quick. Your starter is trade locked. You cannot trade it. It's going to be a neutral nature with all 20 IVs. So if you are wanting to like play on like alts or other characters, you might want to try and level up. You're not like a starter, like one of your other wild ones that you catch, or you can even look for one with like a better nature. That way you will be able to move it over to your other accounts as you need to kind of help them Like I said, Blastoise is very useful. You can use it for a lot of your raids. Moltres, Entei, and Ho-Oh, for example. Ho-Oh and Lugia are going to only be around until that middle of January with that birthday island map. It will require a trainer level of 55 to do it. So to get that, you need to complete most of your Pokedex, which is Generation 1 and 2. There is a handful of Pokemon that are not in the game yet. That being, for example, like Ditto, Chansey. I think there's some other Gen 1s maybe. Generation 2, Hoodoo, Noctowl, Natu, and Xatu I know are Event Island exclusives, as well as actually Ghastly is an Event Island exclusive, so you will have to try and grab those before the event's over if you want to complete the decks as much as you can. I'm trying to think what other Pokemon are not in. Togepi, Togetic, all those, they're not in the game yet. Celebi and Mew are your exclusives, or your mythics, that are a very rare spawn. Celebi does spawn on the Birthday Island map, as well as I think only like Viridian Forest. Mew will spawn on all the other maps. But they are very rare. Typically, if you're killing stuff, I suggest you kind of like pick an area to loop. If you see other people in that area, try and just like move away to a different area that you can farm. Because some people will be grinding an area trying to hunt for a specific shiny. It's just kind of polite to kind of give people their zone that they're farming and go find your little section to farm. And then a lot of the times before I leave an area, I will check like the spawns that I was killing just to see if I popped a shiny or something before leaving. There we got a Jigglypuff. So we'll catch that real quick, since that was one of the other reasons I wanted to come to Route 2 outside of the Weedle. Squirtle evolves at 36 then, so we'll do that after. But essentially, you'll just want to train some of your Pokemon. That way you can go to the different zones. And yeah, I'll probably try and catch some more Pokemon and train them up, and then pop back in to kind of give a quick update. But yeah, we'll do that so that way we can unlock the different zones that we want to go to, as well as potentially the higher XP earned training areas. But I will be back with that. Also, real quick, I wanted to mention, with some Pokemon, you will actually miss out on moves potentially based on when you evolve them. Weedle is one of those Pokemon. Once it hits level 7, you want to make sure to evolve it. That's its first level it can evolve into Kakuna. And then same with once it hits level 10, you want to immediately evolve it into Beedrill. Otherwise, you will miss out on some moves on your Weedle, which you desperately need all of his moves pretty much if you want to actually use him. And he is pretty much the best Pokemon for some of the raids in order to clear out some of the harder boss Pokemon. He's pretty much one of the top damage outputs, just straight up in like PvE, when you're able to just pump damage. So there we hit our 10. I have to send him out to be able to evolve. But if you don't evolve him, you will actually miss out on those moves that you need to do the proper damage with him. So I just wanted to point that out because you'll see here he just learned a whole bunch of moves. Twin Needle and Fury attack. I believe it's Twin Needle that you might miss out on, which is one of his better moves. If you want to edit your move list, as you see, it didn't work when I had him out. So I went ahead and recalled him, and now when I send him out, the move should be there for me. So yep, there we go. But that's why I wanted to get to Route 2. You can also catch Weedle in Viridian Forest as well. But he's pretty much the first Pokemon I wanted to go for leveling up. I did get a Lonely Nature actually with that one I caught with a nice 29 IV. Any plus attack nature will really do. The IV is just kind of an added bonus. IV doesn't really matter long term if you are going to over level the Pokemon. If you're going to try and use the Pokemon for PvP, that IV will matter a little bit more. So people tend to try and find Pokemon with about 20 to 25 plus on the IVs for their PvP Pokemon. But the reason that it matters a little more on those PvP Pokemon, if you are going to PvP, is just because people cap where they level up their Pokemon to. So the old standard was 103. I think people are now taking their teams up to like 105 for PvP. Which 105 isn't too hard to do while the events are active or boosted rates are active. Once the boosted rates are gone, it might be a little more difficult to get there. So even if you just get your Pokemon initially to that 103 and EV train them, you get an additional like 2,300 stats, I think, off of EV training at 103. It'd be 2,500. So every point you over level, or every level that you go over 100, it gives you an additional 100 IVs that you can train that Pokemon then in each stat. So I just wanted to give that quick rough go over, but we're going to go back to evolving up a few more Pokemon and all that. I was just getting this Beedrill trained up a little bit first, and then we will get him going. That way we can look at some bosses. I'll mention some of the other good Pokemon if you want to like solo raid, for example. Slugma and or like to evolve into Magcargo. That's another trainer's Pokemon there. I did do a few more quests as well over here. I think I just finished up those again as well, so we can actually pick it back up. That'll just let us keep earning some more money to buy more Pokeballs. It's very helpful, as well as you'll be able to buy yourself a few kind of like starting actually here we can go take a look at that real quick. TP to the center, and if we go up here to the PC, you can go to broker. Here you can do searches. You can put in if you want like a specific Pokemon. Let's say I wanted to pick up a Squirtle or a Charmander. You would have to deselect all if you want to search for that specifically. But here you can see we have Squirtles. First few pages will be the oldest ones. The last page, if you tab through them, will actually be the most current. If you go by this first tab search, it will just go page by page. So here you can see this one's 5,000, 10,000, etc. if we go back to search, you can actually search by nature if you wanted to find one. Quiet tends to be a pretty good nature, or you could run like a modest or something. There's some other just like plus special attack for your Squirtle is going to be your best. That didn't take. But you'll see these can be a little pricey potentially, so honestly, when you're over leveling, it doesn't matter a whole lot, but the nature is the one thing I would typically kind of search for. If you want to just go by anything, you can just have those all searched or all checked, and that'll search everything. The newest Pokemon that were posted up will be at the end. I believe we're currently at like 1229 is the last page, so this is typically where you'll find some of the cheapest Pokemon that people just posted up. So sometimes this is worth taking a look through. So like there's a pretty nice modest Eevee with a very good special attack stat with being modest, would make a good Espeon or something, for example. So sometimes it can be nice to take a look through there. It can also be a very nice way to fill out your Pokedex quick if you need to. For example, the starters being 1 in 1,000 can sometimes be hard to catch. So just to fill out your Pokedex quick, you can pick up like the cheapest starter you can find. It won't give you that first Evo until you actually catch the Pokemon yourself. But you could get the second and third Evo, for example, on those without having to have actually caught the 1 in 1,000 chance Pokemon. So that's just a quick way. But yeah. And we'll see you guys in a little bit here. Oops, my sound wasn't even on. So I didn't want to level a whole lot on that other account. I did kind of want to show what some of the raids look like a little bit, or what some of the things look like. But I know EX1, EX3, and One Island are where you need to go for your raids for Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. I think it might be level 35 for those. It's at least level 35 to take the Monolith teleport shortcuts, which you have to throw like a Pokeball through the center of this weird looking stone. And it'll teleport you up to the area where you should then see a boss arena entrance, kind of like the one you saw back there from Mewtwo. But you'll see here, there was already people that were here and damaging this boss. So that's why it has these percentiles up here. If you want to actually catch that boss, you have to be the top percentile damage. So sometimes when there's a boss that's already kind of scuffed up like this, it can be easiest just to kill it, to reset it, and then have whoever's going to catch it possibly do some pre-damage. So like, let's say you have someone that's... So this one wasn't damaged a whole lot. You'd be able to catch this one if you wanted to. You'll see this Mewtwo's going to mess up my B real quick. This B's not fully trained up on everything. It's missing its special defense and health, but yeah. But you can see that I was kind of resetting that difference there real quick. And we'll see how the Blastoise can do, but the Blastoise should tear through the health a little bit more. As you can see, this Blastoise is level 114. It is missing a little bit of IVs or EVs on its HP there, but it's essentially given 3,400 bonus stats in each of these based off the EVs. So that's a pretty nice bonus. I won't be able to actually kill the Mewtwo, but I just kind of wanted to show these percentiles. Sometimes what you can do if you are a weaker player or you have a weaker Pokemon, what you can do is you can go out to a boss and pre-damage it, just kind of like I'm doing here, where you can stack up your percentage. You might have to back and go heal up, or if you happen to have someone kind that's going to be helping you that has a Celebi. Celebi can actually provide a little bit of healing to Pokemon. Typically, when you start getting low like this, you're better off recalling that Pokemon so that way you can send out your next one if you are using multiple Pokemon. Because this Blastoise, for example, is actually going to kind of slowly recover its health even when not in use. It would recover it faster if you just had them summoned out due to them having HP regen just as a stat. He will recover more health while out and not in battle. But Mewtwo, for example, is a pretty good Pokemon for farming. And that's just because you will have the ability to also fly. Any Pokemon with wings or stuff will be able to fly. I believe it's the F key by default. But you can fly. The one issue is you will not recover your stamina, which is what you need to use your moves while you are flying. So you'll see if I use it all, it's just going to say no energy now, right? So I have to then stop flying by hitting F again. I'll be ground bound and I'm able to do damage again. But when you are flying, you move like 1.25 to 1.5 times faster. So you can kind of kick on the booster if so there's regular versus flying. It speeds it up just a touch, but it can speed up your farming if you're just wiping an area by being able to kind of toggle between sprint and fly. So that's a nice little point there that you can use. But I just kind of wanted to show raids, explain pre-damaging a little bit. That way you can kind of prep a boss before you actually drag people over to help you. Just because sometimes people won't be as inclined if you don't already have a boss pre-damaged to just kind of be ready to go when everyone gets there. So yeah, this is Mystic Cave here. This is a level 60 trainer requirement to enter this cave, but this is one of the best EXP grinding spots to earn a lot of EXP. You'll see it starts costing a lot more to actually level up your Pokemon as you get higher up. So this level 112 needs a total of 144 million XP. So you can kind of just run through zones and wipe out Pokemon. And Mewtwo's Psychic, which is a blue little ball that you'll maybe see floating around on things there. That move can actually retarget to others if while it's active. You'll see some of the beam moves can also do things like that. So that's kind of why I like having that quick swap, or the search quickly activatable, just to kind of swap between targets real quick. So that way you can kind of grind out some more kills just off the same move. So, boom. I'll kind of show Blastoise here. Reason Blastoise is just so good for caves and stuff is because of that water gun. It just kind of melts everything, and it is also like an AoE that will retarget. So let's say you kind of run in here, pull the whole room together, and then you hit that water gun, it would just nuke that whole group right there, and then you're able to run on to your next room. So I'm just kind of doing this slow here, but it just kind of shows the concept of it a little bit. Water gun wasn't triggering, but yeah. Typically our grind ability is a lot more there, but yeah, that's kind of a quick first look and rundown at Poke MMO 3D. I would definitely take advantage of the boosts while you can if you are going to start playing this game, and because you will make that progress 10 times faster. Really, if you can try and fill out your Pokedex as fast as you can, get those trainer levels so you can get to some of these other zones. I believe there's also kind of the intermediate mines where the legendary dogs are from Gen 2. Those are at level 50, and then for the Ho-Oh and Lugia, those are level 55. So you kind of have 35 for your first set of legendary birds, 50 for your legendary dogs, 55 for the Hoenn birds, and then 60 for Mewtwo. And then Celebi and Mew are just those mythic rares that are very kind of rare to pop up. So yeah, that's kind of your legendaries to look for. You can see there's someone asking for help with catching Lugia. I'm guessing he hasn't pre-damaged it at all or anything like that, so if he were to go over there, you'd be waiting on trying to explain to him, hey, you need to do some damage so you can actually catch this thing. But yeah. And I will pull up the Discord link as well as the whatchamacallit here for you guys too. Alright, so if you do want to download the game, if you want, you can just go on Google, type in Poke MMO 3D, and it should pull up first thing. It's Pokemon-MMO-3D.com. If you hit start playing here, that should take you to the download page here. That'll let you be able to download and then install the game. Should run you through all that. And then if you want to join the Discord for the game, you just scroll down and just hit join now there, and you'll be able to just get straight to that Discord link there. I don't know what the actual invite link is off the top of my head, and I wasn't looking too far into it, but it has all that there for you. And then you also have the wiki button up here where it takes you right to the wiki here, and this you can search your Pokemon. So we can search Beedrill, for example, pull that up. It'll pull up your stats, it pulls up your levels, as well as it'll tell you EVs that you're gained from if you knock that Pokemon out, when it learns its moves, things like that. It also shows you your shiny variants of a Pokemon. So let's go to Ninetales, since that's one that has a lot of variants. You'll see here that they actually have 10 different shiny versions of Ninetales that you can get in this game. And so that's just kind of where you can see the different things, see what you want to kind of hunt for or go for, things like that. It'll also tell you your spawn rates for Pokemon in zones. So in this case, it would be Vulpix. Tells you can find it on map Exploration 1, 1 in 20, 1 island. It's 1 in less than 10, and Birthday Island, 1 in less than 10. But you can click on the map if you want to, and it'll tell you what you can find. So here, shown Moltres is available in this zone. It shows you where you spawn in on the map. That way you kind of have a little bit of reference in where you're heading. Mount Ember, that's one of the caves that should be, I think, level 50. It could be 45 to enter Mount Ember or something. And then Moltres Raid is also out here. I know that there is a little monolith, I think about halfway in between around here, between the spawn and the Mount Ember. Typically, if you go to like the Poke Center, which in this case is right at the spawn, halfway between the Poke Center and the boss location is typically a monolith that should just kind of be a big obelisk that you throw a Pokeball through the center of it, and it will teleport your trainer up and over by the boss arena. But you can also tell what Pokemon spawn where. So Volcano is where that Vulpix would spawn, which is this whole area right over here. You'll see you have North Islands right down below over there, which looks like you'll get the Chikorita spawn in there, as well as a few other Pokemon. So yeah, that's a good resource to be able to quickly kind of look up things if you don't know. You can also always try and ask in game. Sometimes people will be helpful, other times they won't. You never know. So this is your way to kind of get that info if you need it. But all right, that's it for today. We will see about posting some more if this does well or anything, but that's kind of the introduction to PokeMMO 3D. I've been playing this game for about a year on and off, so I just wanted to kind of throw this out there for people if anyone's interested.